Fellow Toastmasters, almost 11 years ago, I joined Toastmasters with the goal of wanting to be able to speak in front of almost 100 people on a regular basis for a position that I had at the time. I knew two people who were in Toastmasters briefly. One had jumped in and done some speeches, but then he quickly lost steam when he couldn't stand the dreaded counter roll. He couldn't believe that this person had the audacity to count his ahs and ums. But I decided to brave it, and I went to Civil Speakers Toastmasters in Tustin, California, and I started my Toastmasters journey. I started doing speeches, getting evaluations, learning from mentors and speakers that I aspired to be like. And I slowly started growing and becoming more comfortable being a speaker. I was finding my voice. And then it dawned on me that the whole reason why we're in Toastmasters is to find our voice. We think we're here just to learn some tips on how to speak in front of others professionally. We think we're learning the mechanics of public speaking and getting information on how we can get up here and not be so anxious, which we are learning those things. But we are here for such a bigger reason than that. We are here to find our voice. What does it mean to find our voice in Toastmasters? I'm going to share with you 3 aspects to finding your voice in Toastmasters. The first is finding your voice means finding the strength in your voice, your volume, your loudness, your intensity, your power behind your voice. When we first joined Toastmasters, a lot of us think we can get up here and talk in the same way we would in a one-on-one relationship or to a small group of people. But when you're on this stage, you have to command the stage. Your energy affects everyone in the room. So whatever emotion you're feeling, that's what you want the audience to feel as well. Because if they feel something when they're listening to your speech, they're more likely to remember what you have said. There are countless examples, even in this room, of people who have started out shy or quiet or just getting up here in a monotone. And then they develop over time as they get feedback. Mary Cowden is one of them who is now in the speech competition for our division.
All right.
Her story is that she was always more quiet until she found her voice in Toastmasters. She found her voice by finding the strength in her voice. The second way we find our voice in Toastmasters is by finding our message. We each come here with different skills and passions, different areas of focus that we like to speak on. We have Mary T, who is honing her message on how to communicate in the workplace and how that's similar to approaching a horse and the power and sensitivity the horse has. We have Amy, who is honing her storytelling ability on sharing about her culture and her customs. She's honing that ability. We have Clay online, who every time when he gets up to speak, it's like we get a free couples therapy session. It's awesome. He's honing his message on how to communicate in an intimate relationship. So we find our voice in Toastmasters by finding our message. Lastly, we find our voice in Toastmasters by finding our empowerment to live out our dreams. When we give speeches, when we get evaluations, when people write us feedback on these feedback forms, affirmations, suggestions, these words over time take root in our mind and our heart, and they ferment there. And we get more words in our mind of how our speech came across to somebody. So then when we get up here to speak, we're no longer thinking about our anxieties, our fears. We're not thinking about what the audience thinks of us. We have these words in our mind. So when I get up to speak, I have almost 11 years of those words in my mind and heart. So I think about Sterling saying, all right, you got this, Julie. I think when I get up here about Greg saying, you inspire me. I think Mary T saying, you touch my heart when you speak. Those are the words that I think about when I get up here to speak. Not my insecurities, not my fears, because I've taken the time to do all these speeches, and every person in the room here has invested in empowering me with the words they have given. So now, at this point, I can speak anywhere in front of any amount of people because I feel empowered by each of you and the words that you have given me. And we're doing that for one another. Is there anyone here who feels that they are finding their voice or they have found their voice in Toastmasters? Anyone online? Every hand is raised. Awesome. So when we come to Toastmasters, we are finding our voice, finding the strength in our voice, finding our message, finding the empowerment to live out our dreams. I'm grateful that back in 2014, I had the courage to step into Toastmasters and start my journey of finding my voice. Is there anyone in your life that could benefit from finding their voice in Toastmasters? Consider inviting them to one of our clubs. Mr. Toastmaster.